It's raining today. Fog drapes the trees like a curtain, and the world feels heavy, still. But today is the day I stop wondering, the day I find my father, the day I finish the puzzle. I sat at the kitchen table piecing everything together, every face, every name. Mr. Richard, Mr. Fatt, Julia, William, David, Jessy. Were they suspects, witnesses, helpers? I didn't know. But one thing was clear. The man on the black horse had sent me a message. Bring the treasure if you want to see your father alive. Treasure. My father had spent his life chasing it. But he was just a simple man, kind, humble, never lucky. Unless he found something, and never told me. I rushed to the basement, his sanctuary of memories, rust and dust, broken bottles, old ropes, useless relics to anyone but him. And then I saw it, a note, scrawled in his handwriting, "Kissing Rock." My heart stopped. That place. He took me there as a little girl, two massive stones pressed together like lovers. That's where they found my mother, after she fell. Why was she there? Why was that place written on his table? I threw on my coat, ran through the rain to William's house, and borrowed his horse. He didn't stop me. He just nodded. He knew. I rode hard through the woods, the rain stinging my cheeks like truth. And when I reached the shore, I tied the horse and walked toward the rocks. And there, half hidden by sea and mist, my father's canoe. This wasn't coincidence. This was where he had gone. To follow a lead, maybe. A dream. He once told me, if you row just past that big rock, you'll reach the old lighthouse. That's where the pirate ship sank, the one with all the gold. A childhood story, a legend, but maybe it was more. I couldn't wait any longer. I pulled the canoe into the ocean and paddled through the fog. The sea was calm, but the silence terrifying. Then, a flicker of light. The lighthouse. But it's been abandoned for years. Who turned it on? I reached the shore near the lighthouse and saw them, the man on the horse and a woman beside him, their faces hidden by rain and shadow. They entered the lighthouse, and I followed. Inside, the man raised a gun. "Shut the door," he barked. He forced me into a room. And there, in the corner, my father, tied, weak, pale, but alive. I ran to him, held him, whispered that everything would be okay. But they weren't done with us. "Where's the gold?" the woman snarled. The man glared at me. "Maybe she left it in the boat," he muttered. The woman ran outside to check. I turned to him. "You've got the wrong man. My father has no gold, no treasure," he snapped. "Don't lie to me," he shouted, pointing the gun at us both. Then he looked at my father. "You said you had something valuable in your basement." My father nodded weakly. "Yes, but not gold, just old pieces. Things I've found over 30 years. They matter to me, not to anyone else." The man screamed in rage. "I don't care! I want gold or you both die!" And just as I thought he'd pull the trigger, a scream, From outside, the woman. The man turned, panicked. "Susan!" he shouted. "Are you okay?" No answer. He stepped back. Then, bang! A shot rang out. He collapsed. I froze. My ears rang. And in the doorway stood Jessy, gun in hand, calm, focused. Behind him, another man holding the woman, Susan, tied and struggling. Jessy looked at me, concerned. "You okay?" I nodded. "My father needs help." Jessy and his partner carried him out, got him to a hospital. The police arrived, arrested the criminals. Their names were Jim and Susan. Addicts, desperate for money. They'd heard my father talk about his treasures and assumed it meant gold. They were wrong, but they didn't care. Later at the hospital, my father told me everything. He had gone to the lighthouse just to search one last time. That's where he met them, and where they betrayed him. Thankfully, he was alive, and my mother slowly began to recover too. But one question lingered. Who was Jessy? I rode back to town, found Mr. Richard and asked. He smiled. "Jessy? He's not who you think. He's no friend of Mr. Fatt. He's a detective, NYPD." "What?" I found him at the beach packing his things. I walked up to him, not afraid anymore. He smiled. "I was wondering when you'd find me." I said, "I came to thank you for everything." "No problem," he said. "Just doing my job." I hesitated. "Why were you everywhere? On the train? At the station?" He smiled again. "That was my question for you." I laughed. "I was following clues. I'm a private detective." "I know," he said. "And I'm a real one. NYPD. I had my own case here, and along the way, I found you." He told me he'd seen me heading to the lighthouse. He followed. He protected me, and I never even knew. "You should be more careful, Miss Detective," he said. Then he surprised me again. "I'm heading back to New York tomorrow. You ever think about joining the force?" I was stunned. That was my dream, for years. "I could help," he added. "There's room for someone like you, and I could use an assistant." My heart skipped. I rode home, deep in thought. And when I arrived, my mother handed me a letter from Julia. She and Mr. Fatt were getting married. She wrote kindly that I could return to the apartment whenever I wanted. No past due rent, no grudges, just peace. I smiled. That night I couldn't sleep, not from fear, but from something else. Hope. The next morning, I packed my things, hugged my parents, and headed to the train station. And there he was, Jessy, waiting. Of course he was. He handed me a ticket. "For New York," he said with a quiet smile. We boarded together. I took my seat beside him, watching the town slowly fade behind us through the window. After a moment, I turned and whispered, "I have so many questions." He glanced at me, smiled. "I know." I hesitated, then asked, "I hope you don't mind, but what's that scar on your face?" He chuckled. "Long story," he said. "I'll tell you on the way." And just like that, the next chapter began.